let's talk about football, soccer, football, whatever you call it. FIFA created a task force that recommended that the 2022 World Cup take place in the winter to avoid Qatar's summer temperatures that can exceed 104 degrees, while in November and December the temperatures drop to a playable 77 degrees. Tuesday's recommendation is expected to be ratified during March FIFA Executive Committee that is gathering in Zurich, and FIFA said that, they don't need to pay any compensation to the leagues that are unhappy about plans to play the 2022 Qatar World Cup in November. This is a big deal because normally the break of the international leagues happen during the summer. And now, scaling the World Cup in November and December, it will eat in a very, very important part of the calendar for most of the leagues around the world. And this is a cost that the clubs have to absorb. They won't have the entry fees to the stadiums of many games. Thousands of games around the world will be suspended because of the World Cup. FIFA said that it was not necessary to give an apology for rescheduling because, speaking at a news conference, Jerome Balk, the General Secretary of FIFA, admitted that the situation was not ideal, but he added, "Why are we talking about compensation? It's happening once. We're not destroying football. Why should we apologize to the clubs? We have had an agreement with the clubs that they are part of the beneficiaries. There will be no compensation. There are 7 years to reorganize." Nick, this is just the next level of controversy around this World Cup. I think it's one of the World Cups that 7 years beforehand, it's already have the world on open arms about all the things that have surrounded this designation. And, some argue that it was very short-sighted from FIFA to award a summer tournament to a country that it's unbearable to play at those. It's not only unbearable, it's dangerous both for players and fans to be sitting in stadiums at those temperatures. I'm glad that they did this move.
At the same time, though, I think they're just looking for excuses to be pissed off. I mean, let's be honest. Does Qatar not have the money to make air-conditioned stadiums?
They do.
They're looking for reasons. And like you said, since the beginning, they were talking, well, Qatar paid its way to the position, this and that. It's FIFA. We know that bribes go on all the time.
Yes.
It probably pissed a lot of people off that a Muslim country is hosting the Cup. I can see that being a reality too. And now they'll always keep finding new things to complain about. And these clubs have millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, of pounds.
Yeah.
Why are they so pissed that they're not going to get compensated for missing a few
games? I'll tell you why. Because FIFA makes a lot of money out of the World Cup. FIFA has such a power to even change legislation in the countries where that the World Cup is being hosted. So how it works is the hosting country creates all this infrastructure. They change their laws to accommodate the tournament, but FIFA don't incur in any of the expenses. FIFA gets the revenue out of the transmission rights of around the world, because they sell rights to every country around the world, and they're very, very expensive. They're one of the most expensive transmission rights of any sporting event. They keep all the merchandising revenue. Every licensing fee goes through FIFA, and then FIFA gives that equally to all the federations and all the clubs. So clubs are saying, if we were playing this on the summertime, we wouldn't be losing money because our leagues were over and our players will be here. But now, not only we are gonna lend our players that can get injured, or their value can go down if they don't have a good World Cup as players. But on top of that, now we have to stop getting revenue from tickets on our games. Tradition, like we mentioned, in England, it's that week, that's important to say. Now they're looking to play a shorter World Cup, around just 28 days versus the 31, 32 days that a regular World Cup lasts. They are thinking of having the final on December 23rd, starting around the last week of November 26, November 27, run it for 4 weeks, and then finish it on December 23rd. For the English League, this is so bad, because that week between, Christmas and the New Year is one of the most traditional weeks of English soccer because everybody plays and there's a championship for half of the tournament for the first go around of the teams. So the English teams are really, really angry at this situation. But if you multiply that for every league around the world that is already paying FIFA royalties for a lot of stuff, it adds up.
Well, I mean, look, there's other things that should be mentioned here. That we're arguing, well, these millionaires aren't giving these millionaires enough millions, and these millionaires are missing out on this amount of millions. What about all the people who are giving their lives making these stadiums and these monuments that are being built dedicated to all the workers that are dying? Shouldn't we? We're putting those on the back burner to talk about the dates and the weather and this and that. And it's cold in England. They should be during the winter. They should be sitting in their house eating beans on toast, watching it on TV, anyways, right?
I think you make a great point. I think it's very important to talk about all the other controversies around the World Cup, beside weather, beside calendar. One of the big ones, you mentioned it, the bribery scandal behind the nomination. Not only Qatar was tainted, but also England and other of the candidates for that World Cup. The report that came out that said that everybody had some dirt on their hands about how they went about their nominations. The construction workers, that their working conditions are almost enslaving. They don't have any rights, and they've been working insane journeys. And this one is very interesting to me. Qatar is run under Sharia law. So that is very conflicting with, drinking in public is illegal, homosexuality is illegal, and FIFA is stuck in the middle because Qatar has these ideas of setting up medical checkpoints at the airports to make sure, do a kind of a medical screening to prevent gay people from coming into the country.
Oh, the gay test.
Yeah, the gay test. It's ridiculous.
I was going to make a joke about how they find that out, but I'm not going to.
But, so it's important to see that this World Cup is going to be revolutionary in terms of how we're going to reconcile Qatar's culture and Qatar's law with what the traditional World Cup means and the festive environment. And people, they like to drink. They have the FIFA Fan Fest outside of the stadiums where people gather and they cheer for their teams. And FIFA is always claiming that they're very inclusive and that this is a game for everybody. So we want to know about you. What do you think? Do you think this is a mess of a World Cup? We're going to see the worst World Cup in the history of soccer? Let us know in the comments, and please subscribe to the Lib TV.